Hi, I'm Filip Kessner. Welcome to second part of tutorial on instrument cards, this time about remote control settings. I strongly recommend watching the first part if you haven't done it yet, otherwise you might not understand some aspects of this part. To show you remote control in context, I'll use simplified instrument cards of Matex M3850D digital multimeter and our M142 multifunction calibrator. These simplified cards will be used to set up serial port and camera settings, and finally, to create a semi-automated calibration procedure. First, let's have a look at what commands do have to set in Calibre to make it work. As you can see, meters are quite simple. You only need one command macro to set a function, range, etc., and another one to get a measurement. Sources, on the other hand, are a bit more complicated. Some of them can generate light-threatening voltages, or may have limitations on continuous signal generation. Sources therefore have two more command macros: output on and off. Let's have a look at Macro Wizard. Most of the time you will be sending commands and reading instrument responses. Some instruments, however, have long switching times or may need some time for the signal to settle, and that's where you use delay. 3850D uses only one command to read a value that's currently on display, so setting up remote control is really easy. I'll select RS232, set a measure macro on instrument level, write D and read to value from 4 to 9. These numbers say what part of the response should Calibre use. 3850D response looks like DC space number space V, and Calibre needs just that number, nothing more. Now, set macro doesn't exist. The only way to set a function on 3850D is to turn the function knob. That's the reason why this procedure is going to be semi-automatic. But if you have an instrument that does have full remote control, the set macro will be something like write function voltage. The last thing on this tab is multiplier. As you know, instruments don't always use base units like volts and amps. Here in 400 mV range, the multimeter shows value in millivolts, but Calibre doesn't know this yet. Multiplier, unlike command macros, is settable for all means of control, even camera and manual control. Just give me a second to go through all the places with multiplier. Okay, global settings. These are settings like serial port number, baud rate, number of digits for camera, and so on. They can be changed in procedure, however, it's more convenient to set it here and don't bother with it every time you create a new procedure. Let's start with serial port first. There are no commands to open communication with 3850D nor to close it, so setup. Baud rate is fine, 7 bits, 2 stop bits, handshake disabled, and signals are fine. Good. Now camera. Well, these settings might be a bit confusing for the first time, as it's probably hard to say whether decimal point on your multimeter is large, close, or small, far. So time to use help then. Press F1. A small close. Half of segment width, not the case. Large close, same width as segment, good. And large far is more than segment width away, which it's not, so large close it is. In full scale, the multimeter shows 3999. It always shows 4 digits, and it's quite fast, so 1/5 of a second should do. Minus sign is present. Evaluate. Save it, and here it goes. Instrument card with remote control ready to be used in procedures, so control is manual, unfortunately. Let's see if it works. Serial port works, so I'll try camera module for the rest. Okay, that's all for now. I hope it's all clear. If you are missing some information on remote control, feel free to leave us a comment or write to us via email. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Don't miss the last part of video 4 on converters and switches.